Hi, what's up guys? This is Heat. I wanted to do a video today on the mind of a gamer and something that I like to call allocation of attention or allocation of thinking, and how that relates to Path of Exile. Now, what do I mean by allocation of attention? So that's basically is how you allocate your attention when it comes to certain situations in the game and what the game presents to you, like whether it's dangerous. Usually it has to do with defense and whether it's dangerous or not, and how you allocate your thinking in regards to that. Now, Path of Exile has this thing where you start to understand your character really well at higher levels. You really start developing this flow with this character because of all the knowledge that you have with playing him many hours, and even the experience that you have with the game previously. Now you become more skilled. When this happens, you become more skilled in recognizing situations, so you kind of don't need to allocate as much energy to recognize situations. So this energy and this thinking that you need to do becomes diminished because of all the experience that you have. Now when this happens, I like to call it that you enter this flow with this character where you just start playing, you just start crushing content, and I like to call this flow effortless thinking. So again, it's effortless thinking. But what Path of Exile does really well is it always challenges your flow and this effortless thinking, the state that you can get your character and your play style under. It always challenges it with new mechanics that introduces a new league. So for example, every time they introduce a new league, there's new mechanics that make the game generally more dangerous, especially if you're playing hardcore. And it makes you stop and think. Like, you can't just enter the flow of this thinking. You have to stop and you have to analyze it, and you have to reallocate your thinking to the situation that the game presents you. Now let's take a look at an example of this happening, and I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to let it go and see if you can spot it, and then I'm going to rewind it and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so there it was. Now I'm going to rewind it and talk a little bit about what was happening here. So here you see me spam a little bit. That's usually because, so the way I flowed with this character was I lead with Arctic Breath, and then I finish off with my main attack, which is Lightning Tendrils. Now here I start attacking, and as you can see, I stop. And I start to bait these enemies, and I start to manipulate the enemy's AI. Now the reason that I stop is that these enemies, this blue pack has this thing called a Herald of Obelisk, or I just call it Herald. And what this does is when you kill one of the monsters, it drops this Herald, and there's 3 possible heralds that can come out of the lightning ones: sprinklers, lightning balls, and then lightning ground, and they all do a lot of damage. Particularly sprinklers are extremely dangerous, especially if they stack on right next to each other and they all hit you at once. You can rip pretty fast, pretty instantly. Now when you kill them one at a time, it drops this dangerous new thing in the game individually, right? So if you kill one, it'll drop one, and then if you kill another, it'll drop another, and there'll be 2, right? So if you're familiar with this, you know how that works. Now, what I did here is, as you can see, I stopped and I started baiting. I thought about the situation, and what I assessed is, what I try to do is, I'll let it play a little bit again, is I tried to gather them all up in a group. And right here, as you can see, all of them are in this group, because when you kill all of them at once, it eliminates the heralds from appearing. Basically, when you kill all the enemies, the heralds would just go away immediately. So by doing this, actually, no new dangerous like obstacle becomes available in the game. It just like nothing comes out. You can see how the totems came out real fast right there and then went down. So that's what was happening in that instance. Now, that's basically the allocation of attention, right? It's like how you allocate your thinking to that situation. And basically, it interrupted my flow. You could see that I started doing normally how I play. I led with Arctic Breath, and I was like, oh, wait a second, these are heralds. Let me reassess the situation, and let me make it less dangerous. And I did that by controlling the AI and grouping them into a pack where I can kill them all at once. Now, generally, when you enter this flow, right, this flow is actually really good, because what that does is allows you to allocate your thinking elsewhere, right? So now that I understand kind of how that works, it becomes a little bit more second nature and part of my flow. So when you're allowed to allocate your thinking elsewhere, you can focus on other things like, how do I clear maps more efficiently? What pathing do I take in maps to be able to maximize my clearing speed? Things like that. So that's why it's important to understand sort of like how Path of Exile interrupts your thinking and how you deal with it. So that's allocation of thinking. I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching.